Yo, what is up? This is RizzyPOW with the MPL Week 3 recaps. I hope you guys have enjoyed Week 3 of the MPL, and before we get started, I would like to let you guys know that I'm a content creator myself, and both the link to my channel and my Twitter will be in the description below. Now let's get started with some intense matches. First off, we have the Miami Dolphins and the Motor City Moltres. Even after the Moltres Zygarde was able to set up a Dragon Dance and having Crunch, the Dolphins were able to scare it off with a physically defensive Slowbro with the support of Uxie setting up screens and forcing it out with the threat of an Ice Beam. Due to the Moltres having a fast team, the Dolphins carried Thunder Wave on Slowbro, Uxie, and Bisharp. Once the Dolphins' Landorus Eye was able to set up a Rock Polish, it was able to clean up the rest of the opponent's team in a 5-0 victory, where the Dolphins were able to hold the momentum for the majority of the match. Next up, we have the Houston Axios and the Wolverhampton Weavils. In this match, the Weavils had brought some hard-hitting mons such as Raikou, Megazord Y, and Mienshao. The Axios had decided to bring Kyurem to set up screens and to weaken these threats, as well as carry Tailwind on his Whimsicott, so that the Megalope Bunny would be able to outspeed the entirety of the Weavils team and be able to fire off high jump kicks as well as flare blitzes with his Life Orb Darmanitan. Unfortunately for the Weavils, the coach had accidentally brought a Jolly Mienshao instead of an Adamant one, which allowed Kyurem to be able to live a high jump kick with a Reflect Up during the beginning of the match and Roost Up, which may have costed the Weavils the match. Towards the end of the match, the Axios were able to set up another Tailwind, allowing the Megalope Bunny to outspeed the remainder of the Weavils team and spam high jump kick for the close 1-0 victory. Now we have the Cincinnati Charizards facing the Golden State War Turtles. Both teams have prepared very well for each other, each team bringing at least one mon that was able to wall a threat on their opponent's team. To much surprise, the Charizards brought a Sap Sipper Azumarill instead of a huge power one. This allowed the Azumarill to wall the opposing superior and set up a belly drum. It would have had the sweep too, but the Charizards became a victim to the Play Rough's 90% accuracy, which had costed them the game, unfortunately. Nonetheless, the rest of the match was intense, as both teams constantly had to switch out to wall specific Pokemon, and the mind games became real. In the end, the War Turtles were able to take the close victory of 1-0 in this intense match. The Ecruteak Gengars and Atlanta Braviaries are next on the list. Right in the first turn itself, the Gengars decided to trick the Choice Scarf from its Rotom onto the Ferrothorn. Unfortunately, the Braviaries switched into the Infernape, immediately gaining the momentum. This caused a series of withdrawals, ending up with the Braviaries Magneton against the Gengar's Jirachi. Since the Jirachi could not touch a Magneton nor switch out due to Magnet Pull, this Eviolite beast was able to set up a sub and charge beams, taking out the Jirachi and dealing a ton of damage on the incoming Goodra. The Gengar's team had been so weakened by this point that they were very susceptible to the Braviary's own Choice Scarf Braviary, which ended the game at a win for the Braviaries at a 4-0. Now we have the Columbus Blue Stripes going against the Jacksonville Gardevoirs. The Blue Stripes decided to lead off with their Choice Scarf Victini against the physically defensive Tyranitar. To much surprise, the Tito was able to live a Brick Break and set up some Stealth Rocks. Later in the match, the Gardevoirs Meloetta was able to crit the Blue Stripes Clefable with a Side Shock, and the Blue Stripes had suffered a terrible loss. Although this gave the Blue Stripes a free switch into Victini to regain the momentum, it was once again a surprise to see the Gardevoirs Regigigas carry Ice Punch, which the Blue Stripes' physically defensive Garchomp suffered about 50% from. The Blue Stripes were able to bring in their Lucario since no one on the Gardevoirs team were able to take up close combat. The Blue Stripes eventually took the victory by firing off Victorates with their Scarf Victini and demolishing the rest of their team in a clean 4-0 victory. The Dallas Staravia and the Sacramento Kingdoms were able to pull up a very intense match against each other. Just from the first couple of turns, it wasn't hard to tell that the Staravia Snorlax was able to wall the Kingdom's Manectric with ease. Once the Scrafty was able to come in on the Kingdom's Manectric, it was able to set up a D-Dance while it took a Volt Switch, allowing the Kingdom's Alakazam to easily revenge kill it with a Dazzling Gleam. This allowed the Staravia's Entei to fire off a Choice Band of Flare Blitz to shine the incoming Weezing. Kills were going on left and right. The Staravia Snorlax was able to set up some curses on the Kingdra's Vaporeon. At this point, the Dallas Staravia's coach, Trip, began to freak out and profess his love for the Snorlax. I quote, "Snorlax, I could kiss you." Just imagine that, people. Unfortunately for Trip, Snorlax did not feel the same way and was confused after taking a dynamic punch from the Machamp. After hearing these odd comments that his coach was telling him, the Snorlax healed himself in confusion. After this, the Kingdras decided to sack off their Vaporeon to 2 choice banded Flare Blitz from the Entei. The Scarf Flygon ended up claiming the match with EQ, resulting in a close 1-0 victory from the Dallas Staravias. Now we have the Leeds Rhyhorns versus the Washington Shedskins. In order to wear down a major threat to the Shedskins, the Rhyhorns Mega Sableye, the Shedskins Dusknoir fling a Toxic Orb at it on the first turn to poison the Sableye. The Dusknoir proceeded to set up Trick Room, allowing his Magnezone to outspeed the Rhyhorns Registeel and then get its weakness policy off and then KOing it. The Shedskins were persistent on keeping Trick Room up through the most of the match, even though the Rhyhorns could easily stall with Mega Sableye. Overall, the Rhyhorns were able to keep the momentum for the majority of the match and have a nice 3-0 victory. We have another close match between the San Francisco 49tails and Las Vegas Victinis. The Victinis led off with Xatu, gaining the momentum immediately against the 49tails Roserade. Unfortunately, the 49tails forgot about Magic Bounce and set up rocks on the Xatu, only to see them get bounced back. The 49tails eventually got these rocks defogged off of his side of the field with Scissor against the Xatu. Although the rocks did take its toll on one of his Scarfers, being Rotom Heat, which eventually was destroyed by a Mold Breaker Sock with EQ. Besides that, the Deontay was able to get crucial damage on the Victini Skyrim B and the Swampert towards the end of the game, which allowed the 49tails to clean up the game with their second Scarfer Glade in a narrow 1-0 victory for the 49tails. Alright, I hope you guys enjoy the Week 3 recaps for the MPL. Week 4 is coming up. By the way, guys, just want to let you guys know I had a blast recording this and it was a lot of fun. This is RizzyPOW and I'm signing off. Make sure to leave a like. I'm out.